Every story is intertwined. It's almost like a tree. There's always different branches, but they're all based on one part of someone's life.
I think the power of stories is quite a strong thing.
If you take the time to know someone's story, you don't just know them, you know their past, their history, and other things that other people wouldn't know about them.
How many of you, maybe by a show of hand, have spoken to a new person they have never spoken to before today?
We Know Your Name But Not Your Story is actually a project that was developed last year. It was established because it was determined that young people in this region actually felt disconnected with their communities.
Corangamite's got a lot of history to it and probably need to learn a lot more about it.
I signed up for this workshop to meet new people and find out from different community people stories and the history and how things have changed.
Passing on that information, that wealth of knowledge from existing committees and groups into the next generation.
So I'm excited to hear their background story.
Jasmine and Ethan, you were working with Tanner. So we've got Gordon working with this group.
And so we've tried to pair up young people with community members and form a deeper relationship based on stories.
We came in and we learnt about stories.
Today we had community members come in and they told us their stories, and we filmed them, and we're going to edit them tomorrow and put them into a big documentary.
It's nice to be able to go up to new people and just talk to them, have a general conversation.
There's lots of little smiles and lots of little laughter moments, and I think that's fantastic.
It's lots of us from different schools coming together and learning a lot about each other.
Going out with like a whole new group of friends.
I'm getting feedback both from the young people and from the community members that they just love the idea of the project.
So there's always different stuff for people, but you learn a lot more in something like this.
It's really nice to see quite a small community come together and exchange stories.
I am Ben and I came from Darrenellum.
I am Lara and I came from Camperdown College.
My name is Angus and the school I'm from is Hampton Special School.
Anything?
Maybe wanted to redo that.
Right, ready to go?
Yep.
Are we? Righto.
Well, first of all, I was born at the Norfolk Hospital on the 11th of December 1941.
Well, I was born in Scotland and we came out here when I was 10 years old, and I've been in the district ever since.
I was born in Camperdown.
I grew up on a dairy farm in Timboon.
I was what you call an unwanted child, baby. So I was swapped around family a bit till I got to a certain age.
Growing up on a farm and in a large family where there was 8 kids and I was the youngest of 8.
Childhood memories.
Oh God, I got so many.
My earliest memories are my father being away at the war.
When we were evacuated away into the war.
I had a good childhood.
My childhood was so easy and so free.
I used to climb trees.
Untold freedom to do what we wanted to do.
Come home from school, jump on the bikes and go off until 6 o'clock to come home for tea.
So I lived with my grandmother, and if we went out for the day, she'd say be home by dark, and we went wherever we wanted to and we were home by dark. Don't know what would have happened if we'd come home after dark, but we never ever tried to find that out.
We had a good life.
Going out to the bush to gather up the wood with all my family.
I like to ride horses and motorbikes, listen to music and talk to my friends.
I think of getting my first DS, playing my first DS game.
Riding my first bike.
Started school riding a horse to school.
I didn't like school.
My dad said, well, if you don't want to go to school, the only way you're going to get out of not going to school is to get a job. So I hunted for all the newspapers and I found a job as a station hand on a sheep station in South Australia.
I used to get up and milk cows before I went to school. We milked by hand in those days. There was no machine milking in then.
I ran away from home.
When I reached the grand old age of 17, I was ready to step out into the wide world and left home and went to live in Melbourne.
It was really tough. Parents didn't have much money. We didn't have toys.
Well, there was only one person in our street that had a television, and all us kids used to go to that house to watch television.
We didn't have computers then. No, we had typewriters.
We had nothing. We only had tank water, no hot water.
I left school and went to work on a sheep property.
When I first started, my wages was $38 a week.
I got married and moved to Camperdown.
That's what girls did back in those days.
Would you like to share with us one of your happiest moments?
Oh yes, there's a lot of happy moments in my life. Married a lovely fellow.
Hard to say. Had lots of happy moments.
So I married Mary.
I think having my 3 babies.
Getting married, having children.
That's a hard one, because there's been lots. There's been lots of happy moments.
When we got a bathroom.
Teaching for a full 12 months in America.
Possibly when I got married and had a family.
When I first held my daughter, I think.
Winning footy premierships has to be right up there, doesn't it?
Driving a car? No, I used to love driving, driving.
When the sewerage went through, that was absolutely wonderful.
I suppose one of the happiest moments was when I met my husband. I met Franco on a cruise, March 1974. I was never ever going to get married. I suppose when I got married, I should say that, shouldn't I?
It's not easy being a father, but by hell it's easy being a grandfather. The love you give them, they give it back, and it just built on it.
I don't know anyone that's got a better lifestyle than me, so I envy no one. I'm living the life I've chosen to live.
I suppose I've been pretty lucky. I haven't really had what you'd call struggles.
I've seen to happen and work out for the best.
We never had a lot of money, but I don't know that we really struggled. You just got by, didn't you?
Every life has traumatic times and good times and bad times.
You have to earn what you've got.
I am fairly shy, so one of the biggest struggles was actually being a bit more outward and speaking to people.
You miss home, no matter what, wherever you go, you miss home.
I had a stroke when I was only 33.
Every day is a challenge, really.
How many children did you have, Reg?
15.
Well, one place I went to, I cooked a bullock and a sheep a day.
There's been 2 major hurdles in my life. Number 1 was getting cancer, and it was probably one of the better experiences of my life. I learned a lot from it, I grew a lot from it, and it fortunately, you can see, turned out with a happy outcome.
Biggest challenge of living in a small town.
Small towns, it's hard for the young people leaving secondary school trying to find a job.
The biggest challenge is distance.
Public transport.
There's no machinery dealers in Camperdown.
You're limited to what's available.
To me, there is no challenge, because if you live in a small town, everyone is friends.
It's one of the friendliest places in Victoria.
It's lovely to walk into the supermarket and know people. It's lovely to walk into the chemist and be greeted warmly.
And it might take you an hour to go from one end of the street, doing absolutely nothing except just talking.
People actually look out for their neighbours and friends really well.
I love the trees and the freestanding clock tower. It's magnificent.
The fact that we've lived here nearly 60 years now.
Haven't got that hustle and bustle of the city life.
Well, when we go back to the big city now, we don't know how we cope with the traffic.
What have you learned about life that you would like to work well, hard at your school work, and be kind to one another.
Take every day as a new day. Get out of bed, we've got a brand new day.
So you get out of life what you put into it.
Maintain a positive attitude.
Take your education as far as you can. I didn't do that.
Never give up. Never give up.
Go as high as you can in your education. and get a job that you want, not be told what to do.
Tough times are sent to try you, and you're only as good as what you can make out of it.
Don't stress over anything. Work it out slowly.
Work hard. Don't be frightened to have a go.
Accept things as they are, do the best you can.
Life's pretty good.
Just be happy with what you got.
You take life as it comes.
Take it. Take it and run.
Just enjoy life. Make sure you have a laugh a day.
Stay positive.
Enjoy the journey. Don't think, one day when I have a house, one day when I'm doing this, one day I have a family. Enjoy it now.
It's the best time of your life.
See the world. There's a lot out there to see.
Enjoy your life as you can, and things will come around.
And if you believe in yourself, then things will fall together for you.
And that's what it's all about, is getting on with your life and enjoying it.
That's about it, I think. I'm 76. Get off the internet a bit.
Yeah. Is that all?
It should be enough.
I think connection is really the strongest message in this project, and it can't be underestimated.
Everyone's got a story, somewhere, somehow. Lots of different ones. You've got to just learn and take time to learn them.
I think I will connect with people differently now, knowing that there are lots of stories and no one's story is the same.